Tourists are trying to save the unfortunate animal. Just look into his eyes. There should be a law so that the tanks are never uncovered because for many animals they become death traps. The incredible rescue of this little fox happened in a pond located on the Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia when some young people noticed the presence of the little animal. They immediately made a stop along the way and figured out a way to help him, otherwise the animal would have lost its life. They got help at just the right time. Perhaps guided by some yelps, the youngsters reached a small building that was once brimming with water and life, but currently plays a contradictory role. There, wet to the middle of the body, was the little red fox that for some reason fell into the pond and couldn't return to the surface. Not knowing how long it had been in the place and still aware that it would be a difficult task, the young people decided to help it and save its life, since near it there was another little animal with no vital signs that the rescuers could not decipher if it was his mother, a distant relative, or a little dog, but it was undoubtedly a victim of these deadly structures. A long wooden plank extended by one of the men served as a bridge for the little fox, and although he was initially afraid to climb on it, he soon realized it was the only way out. The fox staggered up the makeshift bridge and from time to time looked terrified at the pool of water. It was obvious that he wanted to get out there, and that's why he clung to the wood with his paws to quickly ascend. After a couple of minutes, the little fox that was on the edge of the pond jumped into nature and disappeared into the trees, but not before looking tenderly and perhaps for the last time at his rescuers to thank them. Without the timely intervention of these young people, the fate of this little fox would have been completely different, and for this reason we thank and applaud his courageous performance. We make a special invitation to people who have empty ponds or wells in their homes or near them to keep a close eye on what happens there, or if possible, keep them sealed with different elements, since in this way we'll avoid accidents and many animals are the victims of. Another rescue. Animal rescuers in Britain said a baby fox was rescued after wandering around for 3 weeks with a piece of litter stuck around its neck. The RSPCA said Animal Rescue Officer Cara Gibbon responded to the Acocks Green area of Birmingham, England, when residents reported spotting the fox kid on multiple occasions during the preceding 3 weeks with a piece of trash around its neck. It is so sad and heartbreaking to know that this poor fox wouldn't have been in this situation if someone had disposed of their litter correctly in the first place, Gibbon said in a news release. The trash was removed and the fox was taken to a wildlife center to be examined. He was emaciated and dehydrated, likely because he hasn't been able to eat or drink properly for 3 weeks, but thankfully he's now getting the treatment he needs, Gibbon said. RSPCA scientific officer Evie Button said the incident could have ended differently. Animals who get their heads or necks stuck in litter can suffer severe injuries as they struggle to break free and can even suffocate, while others will slowly grow weaker and weaker as they try to hunt or find food or water, Button said. Our message to the public is simple. Do the right thing and throw your litter away to avoid more animals from suffering. See what happened at the end. A baby fox trapped in a storm drain in Kearney, Missouri was rescued by 2 police officers who had to navigate more than 150 feet of the system to rescue him. Nearby residents originally reported hearing strange noises coming from the storm drain late Wednesday night, according to Kearney PD Sergeant Joe Cantola, who responded to the call. I thought it was a puppy at first, Cantola told ABC News, but I went down to the other end of the cul-de-sac where the noises sounded louder. I looked down and there it was, a baby fox. The sly, scared fella kept running away, so Cantola had to call for backup, he laughed. Kearney police officer J.D. Garden responded, armed with a box and blanket, Cantola said. Garden went down a manhole on one end of the street and Cantola was on the other. Together they were able to trap the baby fox and get him into the box. The little guy was very tired, wet, shivering, Cantola said. He was probably exhausted. I'm sure he wouldn't have lasted very long. It was very cold, it had rained the other night, and the little guy hadn't gotten anything to eat down there. The 2 officers brought the fox back to the police station, Cantola said, adding that he was quiet at first. Once he got a little more comfortable, he started talking a bit. The fox was then taken to a local animal hospital and finally, a wildlife rehabilitator, Cantola said. Once the fox is nursed back to health, he will hopefully be able to go back home to the wild. Cantola said this is the 3rd fox he's rescued in his patrol career. He's also rescued 5 owls. We never know when we might be one of those heroes without a cape that in the least expected moment can save an animal's life. Please share and subscribe and check out our channel for more videos like this.